like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Directors for Vallecitos Water District. And let's see. I do want to read this now. Before we begin, I would like to announce that the members of the public may watch the meeting via computer or smart device by going to the district website and clicking on Watch Live icon. However, they will not be able to participate in the meeting remotely. Members of the public may also listen to the meeting live on their phone by dialing 888-788-0099, toll free, or 877-853-5247. When prompted, enter the meeting ID and passcode displayed on the district website. And with that, the pledge. I think I'd like to lead the pledge. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Check your phones, will you please, and put them on mute or pause or turn off or whatever. Let's see, roll call. Please indicate your presence. Very good, we're all here. Thank you. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
No, sir.
May I entertain a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Please vote. And it passes unanimously. Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Very good. Presentations.
I'll take that, President Hernandez. So every quarter, the board, we make a presentation to the board to recognize individual, group achievements, and new employees. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So this covers the period of time from July 1 through September 30th, so basically the first quarter of our current fiscal year. So first, our new hires. We have a new customer service representative, Linda Espinoza. Is Linda here? Linda's not here, but let's welcome her aboard anyway.
Yes.
All right, the next, a new capital facilities engineer. You had a chance to see her a couple weeks ago, a couple meetings ago, Christina Olson. So Christina, there she is. Okay, in the last 3 months, those are our only 2 new employees, but we have had some movement. So Eric Bennett, Eric, right there.
Yep.
Eric was our asset management supervisor. He is now our assistant operations and maintenance manager. So he works directly for
Congratulations.
Ed. Congrats on that. Yeah, the jury's still out on that one, right? So we have a couple people who have received some new certifications. We have Allison Fisher and Ann Lopez. They both received their Water Treatment 2 certifications from the State Water Resources Control Board. So Allison,
congratulations.
Congratulations. And it's always good to see people get certifications that aren't requirements of their job. Really, it shows their commitment to their profession. So
Perfect.
Congratulations. Chris Tapia received his Grade 1 collection system maintenance certification from CWEA. I don't believe Chris is here. Again, not part of Chris's job. Chris is our meter supervisor, so he's dealing with the clean water side of things, but he went out and got his certifications on the dirty side, on the wastewater side, so congratulations to him. And the last individual we want to recognize is Mike Arthur. So Mike, he's back there. So Mike tested and received the Certified Corporate Financial Planning and Analysis certification from the Association of Financial Professionals. So that's pretty great.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And again, nothing that was a requirement of Mike's job. He's just committed to his profession and wanted to show that he's kind of the best of class, right? I just watched the Westminster Dog Show, so he's the best of breed.
Don't breathe your around.
Yeah. I'll fluff up your fur and everything as we get you going. So we do have a recognition program that does provide financial incentives to people who receive certifications and advanced, certificates and awards like this. So those are in the process, and some of these employees will see a little extra in their paycheck because of this. So how about one big round of applause for all these people?
Yeah, congratulations. Yes, by all means.
One-time bonus?
Yeah, it's a one-time, yes, yeah. So we have some group awards I want to talk about too. Some of these you may have heard about already, but it's part of the formal quarterly, so I wanted to recognize them again in this formal setting. So we did receive an IT award, Information Technology Award, recognizing innovation and technology from MISAC, which is the Municipal Information System Association of California. So that's this one.
Oh.
So congratulations to Matthias and his team. Is
Yes.
Matthias here? Yeah. So, put that up here. And the next one is the Public Information Group was recognized as a WaterSense Partner of the Year from the Environmental Protection Agency, which is pretty cool. So congratulations to Chris and his team, and Chris isn't here.
No.
Chris left already.
Chris left, but congratulations. And that's this one. So these will both pretty soon be along the back there, and we'll clean up some of the older ones and bring in the new stuff. So. And the third one and final one, which you've already heard about, the finance and accounting teams did earn the district a Fitch AAA credit rating. So that was huge. Going into the future, we will probably have to incur debt on certain projects coming forward, and this will help us get the best rates available to public agencies. So congratulations to the finance team. Wes isn't here. Wes is in Nepal right now on vacation. So, yeah. But congratulations, everybody. Great accomplishments, and thank you for the time.
Yes, thank you all very much. Moving on. Consent calendar. Does anybody have an item on the consent calendar they wish to pull? I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Very good. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. All right, moving on to action items. Action item 2.1, Board of Directors per diem rate decision.
Yeah, I'll take that, President Hernandez. And Anthony, if I can ask you to share the exhibit. So at the last board meeting, there was a request made by a director to agendize an item to have a discussion about the amount of per diem that each director is eligible for qualifying events. So that's what we're here to do. I don't believe we can take any official action. It's going to be a discussion. And if the board were to decide to adjust the compensation, staff would need to have to come back with like an implementing ordinance or something to recognize it. So this is really just for discussion purposes only. So what you see, hopefully you'll see soon. I'll wait till it gets shared on your screen. Yeah, can you share the one that's bigger? Yeah. So anyway, I'll go forward while we bring this up in a larger format. So back in April of 2022, we had done a survey of other agencies in San Diego County. There's a few southern Riverside County agencies in here as well to show what they pay their directors for per diem. So you'll see that, but while this is coming up, right now we currently pay $200 per day for qualifying per diem per director. That is not adjusted by a COLA, so every year it stays at 200 until the board makes a change. The survey that we performed showed that the kind of the median, the area where most agencies pay is right around $150, and the average of all the agencies that we surveyed is about $157. So I just wanted to share that with the board so you have some background so to facilitate your discussion. Again, I don't have a lot of presentation here, just wanted to agendize it to give the board an opportunity to discuss it, and staff will take whatever direction the board sees fit. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, President Hernandez.
Very good. I was the one that asked for this to be put on the agenda. We have not had an increase since 2016 because we don't get a COLA or anything. If we would have gotten just a COLA, we would have been at $249 and change. The state allows us to have a 5% increase every year, and that if that would have been the case, we would have been at 270. I think that if we had an increase to 225 and just added COLA not to exceed 5%, then I think that would be on par with where the rest of the world is on the costs. And that's my pitch. And open it for discussion.
I'll start it off. I believe that public officials should be fairly compensated because it encourages all of the public to run for that position and gives them the opportunity to take away from their own individual time. So I would support some action on this. I think it's good for the public in general.
Very good. Any other discussion, one way or the other?
Just from a legal standpoint, the adjustment cannot be legal, cannot be automatic for the board. So it need, as President Hernandez indicated, you can get up to a 5% increase annually, but per the law, the board needs to take an annual action on it. So we can't impose like a COLA on it, but you could, do an annual 5% increase, but you have to take the action every year under the law, so.
Could we put in together something that would appear on the consent calendar in that array of the COLA not to exceed 5%?
I don't know about the COLA. I think it's problematic to include the COLA issue, but you could, as long as you have an annual item where the board is taking action on the increase, you can do it as consent. It doesn't have to be an action item.
I'm sorry, could not be a consent?
It can be
could.
consent. It does not have to be an action item, but you have to annually take an action.
So depending on the board's direction, that would be staff's trigger to, no board member in the future would have to ask us to put it on there. We would just make it a matter of course, that at the appropriate time every year, we would bring forward an item, put it on the consent calendar, and the board would vote yes or no, and we'd move on from there.
And how would the staff know what number to put on there?
You would tell me right now if there's a certain amount, or if you want to tie it to a index with a not to exceed amount. For
Okay.
example, it could be very similar. We could use the same CPI number that we used for the COLA, or for the MOU for our employees.
All right.
For their COLA. That would make things a little simpler, more transparent. The board's not getting more or less than what the employees are getting. That's one way to do it, but it would still have to be agendized.
Right.
It could be on the consent calendar, and the board would have to take an action, but then staff would know every year what to be at least putting in front of the board.
Very good. Well, if that's the case, then I'll make a motion to increase our per diem to $225 with a CPI increase not to exceed 5%, and to have staff agendize that on the consent calendar annually.
I think the issue is you need to bring this back the way this was agendized, so just give staff direction to bring back an item at the next board meeting along those lines.
Very good.
We can't take action on it today.
Very good.
2 points of clarification. Are you comfortable using the same CPI that we use for our MOU for our employees?
I am,
Okay, with a 5% cap.
yes.
And when would you like it to be effective? Would it be like a July 1 or
I
like?
think July 1 is when
Yeah.
the staff gets,
So our employees get it in the first full pay period in July. So it's usually after July 1, but it's roughly that time. So we could do it at the same, generally the same period. We'll come back at the next board meeting with some implementing actions, and we'll clarify in there when it'll be effective.
Very
Because we have
good.
to worry about things like pay periods and when do they fall. So we don't need to worry about that tonight, but
make
we'll
it
come
easy.
back with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Then let's see.
I have-
Yes.
Are we motioning and then seconding that?
No,
No.
you're just, he's getting direction to bring the item back, and then the board at that time would have the time to deliberate and decide whether that's what you want to do, and take action at that time.
I have some additional discussion points to make since we're talking about compensation. For the benefit of the public, the directors are compensated based on attendance of meetings. Thank you. For the benefit of the public, directors are compensated based on meetings that we attend, conferences, trainings in some cases, and also the committees that we sit on. And heretofore, the assignment of committees, particularly something that I have noted, is sometimes it's disproportionately assigned to different people, which enables some people to make hundreds of dollars more than other people on this board. For example, we are compensated based on our standing committee appointments, which we share the chairships fairly equitably. The board-appointed representatives for external committees, however, is not shared equitably. For example, the Aqua JPIA, the delegate is Director Pennock. The CASA delegate is Director Elitharp. The Encino Wastewater Authority, which the compensation comes from EWA. The delegates are Director Hernandez, Director Pennock. The San Diego County Water Authority, which compensation comes from the San Diego County Water Authority. The delegate is Director Elitharp. The Hillside Property Development Ad Hoc Committee, the delegates are Director Pennock, Director Hernandez. The City of San Marcos General Plan Advisory Committee, the delegate is Director Pennock. The San Diego North Economic Development Council, the delegate is Director Grosset. I am not a delegate to any external committees, and this is not the first year that I have been a delegate to no external committees. And the end result is hundreds of dollars in different compensations. And I agree, Director Grosset, that people that serve on boards should be fairly compensated so that it enables people to run for office that may not ordinarily run for office. But I would like to have a discussion around the assignment of committees. And I agree, we all voted on this. But I have not been on an external committee for at least 2 years. I was on one, but then I was removed. So for no cause other than I was removed. And so the compensation is different for us up here. Whether our pay per diem is increased, we can have that discussion as well. But the overall structure is not equitable, and it has not been equitable. I don't know how to fix that unless we assign or we determine that we all serve on the same number of committees and all have that same opportunity, but the opportunity has not been equal heretofore since I have been on the board. So I would like to bring that forward as well as part of this discussion.
All right.
Well, I can talk to the general manager, but I think there are agencies that just provide a blanket that's not dependent upon committee attendance, et cetera. So, but also we can address the committee appointments in your policy, if that's the board's desire.
All right.
Yeah, I was going to ask Mr. Gilpin, are there alternative ways than a per diem? Can you do a flat rate per month for directors to sit on a board with maybe some minimum participation, right? We don't want people to get a flat rate and then not want to be on anything. So kind of the flip side of your concern, you're not on enough, maybe somebody's on, not volunteering for things. So I can talk with Mr. Gilpin and we can schedule something for further discussion on that.
All right, very good.
Well, as a matter of discussion, so I don't know if it matters the number of, because you've mentioned, we're paid by number of meetings attended, not by number of committees we're on. So you mentioned, I'm on like an Aqua JPIA and a GPAC. We haven't met for 6 months.
But you have the opportunity.
We do, but I'm not the chair. And so when they meet, the GPAC hasn't met for 6 months. So I haven't attended any meetings for that one or the Aqua JPIA. So it's not the number of committees you're on, it's the number of meetings you attend. So if you are on 2 committees and you meet monthly, then the per diem, affects that differently. So again, it's not the number of committees you're on, it's the number of meetings you attend. As far as just discussion, I'm not a big proponent of increasing. I think we're fairly compensated. It's interesting because sometimes we go to a meeting that's a half an hour and I feel like I'm overcompensated. However, sometimes I go to a conference, which is an 8-hour conference, and so it just, at the end of the month, it ends up working out. I think it's fair. I think we're equitable. I'm looking across the board. I'm good keeping it simple, a flat 200, and maybe every year we talk about it, and if it goes up, we move it up along with the county. I'm just good with keeping it simple and discussing things on an annual basis. So that's as far as matter of discussion, and if we have to bring it up in the future, I'm fine. But I agree with what's been said, and I think it's fair. I think what's been going on is fair. I think we've got good quality directors, and it's almost more of a service than it is a compensation. We should be able to serve members of our community without anything in compensation besides service and community involvement. So that's my discussion points as well. So I understand what you're saying, but again, I think we don't need to look at the number of committees, but the number of meetings. And if we divide those up amongst, I think that's equitable as far as the number of meetings, because the committees that I'm on meet irregularly, where the committees that maybe somebody else is on and fewer ones meet regularly. So, point of interest.
I appreciate that, and I'm also fine with it also staying at 200. I think we're fairly compensated. My my beef is that there are opportunities to be had, and those are not available to me and have not been available to me. And they're in the form of serving on some of these external committees that I'm not on. So I think it's two things, but it's all tied together.
Yeah. Well, I think if you come back with some ideas that might help us in the next time, we can then have a discussion about that.
Will do.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to reports. General Manager.
Yeah, thank you, President Hernandez. Just a few. So one of the CIP projects that the board recently approved was the Montiel Lift Station and the Montiel Force Main, separate projects. I just want to give you a brief update on the Force Main. So this is the line that takes the sewer flow that's collected at Montiel Lift Station and pushes it uphill before it can get back into the gravity system further downstream. And that alignment of that Force Main goes right through that Nordall Center that has the Walmart and a lot of traffic in there, right? There's a lot of things, Kohl's, there's all sorts of things in there. So we're almost done with the construction in that parking lot, which is good. The contractors made really great progress. Most of it is because of the efforts of the engineering group to extend it as a force main as opposed to having to dig deep to make it a gravity line. So it facilitated quicker construction. So I'd say they're probably at least 75, if not 90% of the way through that parking lot. They'll be done soon, which is good because holiday shopping is right around the corner and you don't want to have a torn up parking lot. So just a brief update on that, making good progress. Second item, the board will remember that I updated you that there was a water main break from a transmission line that ran from the County Water Authority aqueduct into our system. The break actually occurred in the city of Escondido, but it's our line that comes out here. So again, just a brief update. We're not completely done with the repairs, but the pipeline is back in service. So they've repaired the pipe, they backfilled the pipe, and they brought it up to subgrade. They're still doing pavement work. So one of the biggest costs of our water main break repairs is it's not the pipe itself, it's all the collateral damage with the pavement and the curb and gutter and all the cleanup activities associated with that. So happy to report that the water main itself is back in service, and probably within a week or so, we'll have the roadway repairs done out there as well. So, and the good thing is, this being a transmission line, we didn't have any customers directly connected, so no customers were out of service the entire time. So Ed and his team did a great job of whatever they need to do to reroute the water to make sure people got water even with this line out of service. So I think that's a good success story. Last thing I wanted to share is just a reminder that the Water Academy is November 2nd. It's a Thursday. Members of the public are welcomed and encouraged. Any members of the public watching, go to our website, look for the Water Academy link, and please sign up. We're trying to get a head count so we know what kind of bus or buses to get to take the folks around on the tour, which is in the afternoon. And similarly for the board members, strongly encourage that you come join us. Please let us know if you'll be able to attend. I don't need to know now, but let Anthony, Ann, or myself know somewhat before November 2nd. So that's all I have tonight.
And you're looking at a finance committee meeting that day, I think?
Oh yeah, that is the 2nd, that's right. So we may have to, well, I guess it'll depend on whether the finance committee members are gonna be on attending the tour or not. But I forgot, I didn't put that together, yeah, because the Water Academy wasn't on my calendar. I'll revisit dates for that, so I believe it's Director Boyd Hodgson and Director Ella Tharp on the finance committee. So I'll throw out another date for you. Okay. That's all for me.
Very good. Legal counsel?
Just briefly, I mentioned it last month, the PFAS settlements have been out, and the district has received notices on both the 3M lawsuit and DuPont. Glenn and I will be coming back next month to discuss that with the board in closed session relative to the district's options of opting out of that settlement. The opt-out period per those public notices is the middle of December, so we'll be back next month to discuss that with the board. If you have any questions regarding it, you can reach out to Glenn or I on the PFAS issues involved in the settlement. So beforehand.
All right, very
Thanks.
good. County Water Authority.
Yeah, the Water Authority held a special Board of Directors meeting last week on the 12th. The sole item on the agenda was a 2023 water facilities master plan update given by Water Authority staff. Been working on this master plan for quite a while, but their plan is to have a final report in about a year from now, December 2024. And next week, the 26th, they will be holding their regular October board meeting. That's all I have.
Very good. Encina Wastewater Authority. We had our capital committee meeting this morning. We discussed the projects that are in planning and design, which are the electrical building controller. It's going out to bid on the 16th of November. It plans to be a 9-month program with a budget of $7.1 million. So that's quite a bit. The SCADA update is in progress. Should be about a year in the programming, and I don't have a budget for that. And then the odor reduction replacement is continuing, and I think we're just about ready to approve that. So that's coming up. And that was the end of the report. Next meeting is November 8th. Standing committees. I don't think we've had any, see? And directors' reports on meeting, conferences, seminars attended.
I'll go. I attended the COWU quarterly luncheon yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And it was a really interesting presentation on benchmarking and their, I forget the name of the study that they put together, but it's regionally based. They have a lot of water districts that weigh in along a number of metrics that they use to benchmark and also improve their own operations. And it reminded me that, you know, in the manufacturing sector, there's ISO 9000 to standardize operations. It's not 9000 anymore. It's probably 9007 or something. But in order to standardize their operations and continually improve and show progress, it made me think that, number one, we should participate as we can in that survey so that more San Diego County water authorities participate in that survey. Apparently only 3 do. And so I can talk with AGM Gumpel about that because he was there as well. But it seemed like a very good process to investigate, you know, how's our customer service doing? How's our wastewater treatment doing? Ways to benchmark and then show improvement in a standardized way. And I thought it was impressive.
Also attended the lunch, and the only thing I would add to that is LAFCO also made a presentation about the all similar benchmarking, but for from the water authorities themselves, I believe, if I understood that correctly. And also attended the Boys and Girls Charity Auction event, which was great, and we made some very good inroads with our customers there, and got some great feedback on all the good work you all are doing here. So I also got to see the impact of what they do to the community, and how large of an impact it is given how little resources they have. It's just really outsized, and I think that's why it's important we continue to support them, because it's extremely important to our community.
Very good. I too attended the lunch yesterday. Don't need to repeat what was said. And also the Boys and Girls Club auction. Having been past president and involved in the club for decades, it is incredible, the things that we have done. It has changed over these last half a dozen years. I won't give a critique because I'm no longer on the board, so they're doing things differently than I would do. But it was wonderful. Everybody had a great time, and a little dancing at the end, line dancing. So everybody had a good time. Let's see. I think we have one more page here about director's comments, future agenda items. Seeing none, we are adjourned.